Now, to mark the 80th anniversary of D-Day this summer, we told you about hundreds of knitters from all around the world who had recreated 80 scenes from the operation, including those iconic beach landings.
This is an incredible story.
Really is.
The longest yarn has been on display in Normandy for several months, but now it is back in the UK. John Maguire is in Nottinghamshire, where the exhibition opens up this morning, and he's not alone. Morning.
If your alarm didn't work this morning, I think John Millen will have woken us all up this morning, won't he? Thank you very much, John. Playing his father's bagpipes. His father, Bill, if you remember the movie The Longest Day, famously played his pipes as he landed on the beaches and then crossed Pegasus Bridge. It's one of the scenes depicted in these 80 panels that are now here at Southall Minster in Nottinghamshire, in the UK for the first time. An incredible piece of work, a vision, really. It's to commemorate 80 years since D-Day. That's why there are 80 panels, and shows lots of different scenes from the build-up to the invasion itself, and then the aftermath with the battle for Normandy. An extraordinary sight. As I say, you're able to come and see it now in the UK for the first time. It's been in France since June. Here's the background to where it all came from, the story itself.
The design, the detail, the dedication involved in the 80 panels that make up The Longest Yarn are simply incredible. Each a metre long, they depict a scene from the epic D-Day movie The Longest Day. The number was chosen to mark 80 years since the Allied invasion of northern France, which was commemorated in June. Volunteers from around the world knitted and stitched uniforms, people and places in painstaking detail. Often, they had a personal reason for getting involved.
My father lost his brother on D-Day on Omaha Beach, and we'd never really heard the story. No one from the family had ever been to Normandy before. We went to the American cemetery and did a little ceremony, and it was so moving, so fabulous, so wonderful.
In this house in Normandy, where German soldiers lived during the occupation, the final details were completed. The panels then first went on display in the town of Carentan, the scene of fierce fighting in 1944, and more than 50,000 people came to visit the work. There are plans to exhibit The Longest Yarn in the United States, but first it's here in Nottinghamshire, a labour of love and a symbol of remembrance for all to witness.
It's only when you see this close up that you appreciate all of the detail, the different scenes. As we said, it has been on display in Carentan, where there was that battle. You can see the road sign there, but all of the different aspects, obviously some of the tank craft coming in, and look at the detail on this. American soldiers, obviously, you can see, if you know your military history, you know your military paraphernalia and things. Airborne Force is a beautiful representation of that badge there. The gliders that landed that brought so many of the airborne troops over. Tanks here, injury detail, there's a gun in the trees, and here's a signals unit as well. Tansy Forster. This is all your crazy idea, isn't it? Tell us how it first came about, and you must be absolutely thrilled because it is breathtaking.
I'll be honest with you, it's actually a lot larger than I thought it was going to be. It was just a crazy idea that I had, and this time round my husband said, yes, go with it. So it started off as a topper for my garden gate. I'm afraid.
Now, toppers are those people that knit them, don't they, and put them on top of post boxes and things like that.
Yeah, and I was going to introduce one to Normandy for the first time because they've never heard of them before, but it sort of like became 80 metres.
Yes, and it's absolutely extraordinary. You've had it on display in Carentan for a while. What was the reception like there?
Unbelievable. We had 50 to 60,000 people come through the church. The French have actually been blown away by it, and it's just been fantastic. I cannot get over it. To such an extent that the mayor now is going to be building me a museum.
Oh, Right, that's very nice to have a museum built for you by the Mayor.
So it's going on tour now all around England for 7 months, and then it's going to America for a year, and it'll be back to Carentan. Hopefully by then somewhere is ready for it.
Great stuff, Tansy. It's been great to follow your journey. Thank you very much indeed. We're going to bring in some of the other volunteers, some of the knitters and crocheters. I'm not sure whether I ever say that word properly, really. Paula, Tanya and Maureen. Paula, show me your panel, firstly. Sorry, let's just walk across here. Right, and just talk me through this very briefly.
This is the horses of St. Egilles.
Okay, and you've got, what, American troops that have taken the horses away.
Yeah.
How long did this take?
Well, it took about 6 months, but I started my other panel as well, so about 8 months
You got
altogether.
2 panels. And what are we talking? Do you do it every day, or...?
All through the night, sometimes. Depends. It depends. We had time scales, so just got on with it.
Beats counting sheep, I suppose. Maureen, show me what you've got here. We've seen John Millen and talked about his dad, Bill, who's the famous piper. What's this, then?
So we were asked to do the panel that depicted Lord Lovat and Piper Millen coming over Pegasus Bridge. And we were very kindly gifted a jumper that Bill wore by his son John, who you've just seen pipe. And this has been made by one of our yarn bombers who also helped with the panel, and she's made it from that wool that we were gifted by John. So it's a very special memento for John to have of his dad.
Isn't it special? And this is for John, is it? The piper that we just saw. Isn't it special to be made with the yarn from his jumper? Tanya, what was your panel? Tell me about your panel.
So my panel was the sniper in the tower, and it took me around about 5 to 6 months to do it. It was quite a challenge because I had to adapt patterns from full-size soldiers right down to 10 inches, this sort of small.
Yeah.
I used because I crochet, so I used different wools and mixed it all together to give texture.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
And you would have worked in splendid isolation. Now you're seeing it put together with the 79 other panels, 78 other panels, whatever. What do you think?
That's right. And I also went to Carentan as well
to
help set it up, and then went back to have a look at it as well. So a journey I'm following. Really good.
Aren't we all? Thank you very much indeed. Well done. Spectacular work, it has to be said. On display here in Southwell in Nottinghamshire until pretty much the end of the month. I think the 27th of September, something like that. Do come along. I promise you'll be impressed. Back to you two.
We are impressed already, John. It is spectacular, as John said.
It really is fantastic. It's
beautiful.
Like our own sort of bio-tapestry of the 20th century, isn't it?
It is.
Gorgeous
The
stuff.
amount of work that's gone into that.
Brilliant. Thank you, John, and guests, and Piper, of course.
Incredible.
He
Piper
woke
at
us
the
up.
start. He really did.